guys, this is Gabrielle with On Both Fronts. This is my first YouTube channel video, so I hope this goes well. I'm going to talk about today how our journey has gone so far. We have two boys in our household. One is 2.5, almost 3 years old, and he is autistic, not yet diagnosed medically, but educationally he is considered autistic. We have a 4-month-old infant who was born severely disabled. He has hypothyroidism, had a club foot. He has muscle tone issues, shortened eye fissures or eye openings. Goodness, so much. He has a paralyzed vocal cord, which is why he has the feeding tube. He also, he has some dysmorphic features is what they call him in the hospital, which is why they identified him as being disabled, and he was instantly admitted to the NICU about an hour after birth. We hadn't even gotten to hold him yet when they took him away, which was really hard. Anyways, our progress so far is both of the boys are in early intervention and get direct therapies from the early intervention. Kilo has speech and occupational therapy. Seamus has occupational therapy and physical therapy. We are still working on speech therapy, but as of the moment he is in PO, so nothing is done in his mouth anyway, which hopefully here soon within a couple weeks will be changing. We have a swallow study, and if it shows that he's not aspirating or breathing in any milk into his lungs, then we will have the green light to start bottle feeding and then eventually baby food here soon. So that is super exciting. Hi guys, just switching over to my webcam here. My HD camera is a great camera, but as you can tell, it is super hard to balance it and talk and try to come up with thoughts anyway. We have been home from the hospital with Seamus for about 3 months, so 3 months of the feeding tube and all that fun stuff. It's a G-tube, it's in his stomach. He had to undergo surgery. They do not send him home from the hospital with nasal feeding tubes, which is, if you see any of his younger pictures, that is what he had in the hospital. It goes down the back of his nose and into his throat, which is where the food would go into. They're easily ripped out and just not as sturdy as the G-tubes directly into the stomach, which is why the hospital does not typically send infants home with the nasal feeding tubes. About 5 days after he was born, 6 days, he was transferred to a larger hospital that is specialized in children's care, because the local city hospital here is not really equipped to handle any specialized cases. We were very upset, and it was very intense. There was a entire transport team came in their like flight suits and their jumpsuits. Like, it was very intimidating. There were about 8 people there, 8 adults. He flew in a jet because it was about 4.5 to 5 hours away for a drive, so it was a very intense emotional experience for us. And this is our second son, so I'm only 21 years old and my fiance is 23, so it was definitely something new. Luckily, we knew that he would get the best care at the children's hospital and that he would be in the best hands that he could be in. I actually ended up staying there about the 3 weeks, 2.5 to 3 weeks that he stayed there. I would sleep in the little futon in the room. Meanwhile, my 2.5-year-old son and my fiance were back home, which was really hard. I've been a stay-at-home mom since my first son was born, and it was really stressful to have to be without him, as he has kind of been someone that when I'm stressed out or upset, he's someone I take comfort in being around. So in the experience that I was having, it would have been amazing to have him there with me, but because of hospital restrictions and other sick babies, he was only able to go to the hospital to see his brother for about 5 to 15 minutes, which isn't that long to, meet your new brother. So things were really hard for him. We stayed in the cities for, gosh, it was about a week over Thanksgiving. My mom and her husband had went on a vacation to visit my grandpa, and they ended up staying there 2 days and drove right back to meet us at the Children's Hospital and watch Hilo and kind of help us process the entire thing. And as sad as it is to say, it was actually, we had a good time together. Even under the stressful circumstances, we at least kind of kept a smile on our faces and just knew that things were going to work out for Seamus, because at that point we had nothing to go off of. We didn't know what was going to happen while he was in the hospital. We didn't know outcomes. We really knew nothing at that point, and still it is a little discouraging because we don't know much either, but hopefully here we will start learning a little bit more of what, sorry, I haven't used my webcam very much, so it's not positioned. We aren't really sure the future for Seamus. As I have mentioned on my Instagram account, on both fronts, follow me. I've mentioned it a couple times. Someone had reached out to me and said her son had Autism syndrome. It's a very very rare genetic syndrome. I think only about 100 documented cases in the world ever to have occurred. So it's extremely rare, but when I kind of investigated it a little further, I even called the genetics team at the hospital and told them, this is it. I know this is what Seamus has. I want the genetic testing done. I want the geneticists to see this, because even at that point, they had never heard of it. They had to look it up, and they thanked me for calling them, and they kind of understood why I really had connected all the dots together and really thought that they needed to consider this syndrome. So that has been recently what has been going on. If you follow me on my Instagram, you will see more of our day-to-day activities, and I answer questions and whatnot about our daily lives and what we go through, what I have to do for both Hilo's autism and direct therapies, and then also Seamus's direct therapies, doctor's appointments, and all that fun jazz that I now do. I used to think being a stay-at-home mom would be fun and relaxing, but I have found out otherwise when you have 2 special needs children, that days get pretty jam-packed, full, and a night off would be extremely nice. Things have been otherwise progressing pretty well. Like I said, Instagram shows more of our daily routines, and if anyone requests a video or has questions how we go about our day, then I will be sure to compile a video of how our day goes and just how stressful and sometimes boring it gets around here, but at least we're with each other. I hope you will subscribe to my channel. I know it's my first video and it's probably going to be amateurly done because I am just starting to do this, but I hope you will follow me. I clearly am not super great at recording videos right now. I kind of go off the top of my head, but I hope that people will follow me and kind of take some inspiration from what I do on both fronts with things. And I know that there are a lot of people who can relate to the autism and also the genetic syndrome and having just a genetically different child. Special needs, you don't have to be genetically diagnosed either. To really understand what I'm going through, and that we're all in it together, and that there are many, many of us, and sometimes we both get the luck of the draw, and you don't get to choose what kind of kids you have. And believe me, we didn't choose this, and we have no really hereditary factors that would have ever even indicated something. It's just something that happens. But I really wouldn't change it for the world. I know a lot of people try to patronize me about how they're so proud of me and how I'm doing so well and I'm such a great mom, but it isn't like I had a choice or like I would have done anything different had it been a normal kid. I wouldn't have given Seamus up to foster care because he was special needs. I wouldn't have ever considered handing him over because excuse me, because he's autistic and is going to have some difficulties with education. It's not in the cards. It's, to me, there is no question about having them. They're my kids, and this is what we deal with. And kids who contract, or I guess don't contract, kids who end up having type 1 diabetes. I have a cousin who has it, and there's nothing that she did that led to it. It just happened, and she has to take insulin. In her entire life, she'll take insulin, and it's not anything that can be controlled. Her parents didn't do it. Her parents can't do anything to make it better. That's just something that we deal with in life, and I think everyone has those own battles. Maybe it's with depression or eating disorders or something like that. We all carry a significant weight, and just because someone's burdens are a little bit more obvious than others, that still doesn't mean that they deserve anything less in life. There's nothing that I'm going to do differently with Seamus and Hilo that I wouldn't have done if they were just normal boys. We really love them, and I mean, education-wise, I'm kind of, I wouldn't say anti-public school system, but I definitely wanted to be a homeschooler. I believe in homeschooling. I would love to teach my kids and really teach them the fundamentals of what I believe about education, and knowing what my kids are learning and knowing that they're learning what I think they need to be learning, not what the schools tell them they need to be learning, which is going to be difficult, granted, because of their special needs and the socialization that they need and routine and other people. So for now, unless the doctors tell me otherwise, if Hilo ends up not actually being autistic, I will keep him in preschool. Probably kindergarten through first grade. I will leave him in the public school system to meet new kids, have experiences, understand routines. A lot of things happen when you're that young that you learn. And I believe up until that point, school is fun. Public schools have fun with teaching kids. They do arts and crafts. They have fun. They, make friends. They do so many monumental things in preschool. And even when I was in high school, I knew that I wanted my kids to go to preschool. All the research says kids, when they go to school earlier or start learning earlier, that they end up being smarter, more educated, and just easier students. And so I have always believed that preschool is absolutely important. Whether you homeschool or go to public school, I really think up until first or maybe even second grade, that's when they start the learning process of learning what they want you to learn, selectively choosing what parts are important and what isn't. and now with the Common Core math craziness that's going on, that I honestly did not strive in math the normal way, so I definitely don't think Common Core is going to really be an easy subject for me to teach him. So I would just rather have him learn it the way that I learned it, the way the books learn it, and the way that books teach it, and you know, is easier for him to grasp. Though I know Common Core has research as well stating that it does teach math in a more fundamental, applicable way, but you have to have parents who support that and understand it, and you have to teach it in the right way for the kids to understand it as well. So there's a lot there that's kind of needs improvement before it's going to really catch on and do a difference. Anyway, I've gone off track here. You'll find I do that a lot when I get on a certain train of thought that I really feel that people should know about. I kind of go off on a rant there, but I'm coming back now. So be sure to subscribe to my channel. Again, like I said, I'll try to get better at recording these, try to record them more often than not, at least once a week. I know on my Instagram I said I do them once a week, and sometimes things get so busy. We were supposed to have appointments at the children's hospital 5 hours away all this week, so I kind of have a lot more free time this week to gather myself, but I'll try to keep everyone updated, and don't be afraid to hesitate to, you know, to contact me, ask me questions, find resources. I know I'm young, I know people tell me that all the time, but my mom's a doctor. I've always really just been a sponge as to things that people tell me. I do a lot of self-research. I always do my own research. I look things up. I ask other people. You know, so I really educate myself on things that I come across or what can be in the future. And I always love to help and reach out to other people. So I really do grasp these topics, and I know that some people it's hard for them to cope, to understand, to even accept what if your child is being said your child is autistic, you believe they aren't, you don't believe early intervention services need to be done, you know your kid's smart. Things like that, I've gone through them, I totally understand, and I kind of believe that there are ways that I can help. So I know it's hard when you're first getting out there to kind of network and reach the right audience, but I hope this video finds people who really need it, and hopefully we can connect. I'm always near my phone, so if you follow me on Instagram, ask questions there in the comments, or you direct message me, you can always email me onbothfronts@gmail.com. Otherwise, you can comment on this YouTube video, and I will be here. So please let me know. Be sure to subscribe, follow me on both fronts. I have it linked in on the channel. So, till next time.